Crankbaits are overrated? Here we go again. Ready, running gun, time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. Crankbaits are overrated. You know, I've seen, I won't mention the channel's names because I just, unless I really have a beef, I'm not going to do it. But I've been seeing a few videos out there here recently of crankbaits are overrated. Why would you say that? I understand people call them dummy baits, you know, or idiot baits. I just throw it out there, quick it back. Throw it out there, quick it back. Yeah, say that to David Fritz. For those of you who don't know who David Fritz is, look him up. He was a crankbait king. There's a podcast he did with Dave Mercer. I don't listen to a lot of Dave Mercer. Dave Mercer I listen to like the old school guys. But yeah, David Fritz did an interview with Dave Mercer, and listen to what he has to say about crankbaits. It'll blow your freaking mind. But crankbaits are not overrated. Do I think there are way too many crankbaits on, you know, as far as online, you know, well, not even online, just crankbaits that are out there? Do I think there's too many of them out there? Well, yeah, I mean, look at all the companies that are out there. Unfortunately, only a handful of companies actually own the companies that make them. So, you'd be surprised how small the ownership of the fishing industry is. Sinuses, sorry about that. Now there are some tried and true crankbaits that have worked over the years. The first two off the top of my head, just without blinking an eye, is a wigglewort and a shad wrap. But are there others? Oh yeah. You know, when it comes to deep cranking, DD22, or off the top of my head, you have Backlead Deep B3, or DB3 as they call it. There's also new ones that are out there that will reach 25, 30 foot deep. And everybody's like, hoo ha hoo. I hate to burst your bubble. Tom Mann did that with the 20 plus. And he actually had a 30 plus there for a little while. Crankbaits. And it didn't overwork you too bad either. But, you know, who cares about that? It's the new stuff, dude, the new stuff. Well, let me ask you this. If the new stuff is so awesome, how come you better buy what you can get now, because it's going to change next year? I say this because people who are into the stuff that actually work, take the wigglewort for example. All right, wigglewort. There's a huge demand for the 90s era wiggleworts, and the 80s and 70s too, era wise. But the 90s, people are catching on that by the 90s the molds were wearing out, and the crankbaits weren't coming out exactly perfect, and they had a specific action to them. I'm thankful that there's I think his name is Jim Sharpton. Sharpton. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Jim. At Predator Baits, he sells the wigglewort blanks that you can paint yourself, the ones that I use, and they're molded from the 90s era, so they're a little bit offset. I like that. Shad wrap, still available today. Now I know a lot of you guys are going to start, oh, here we go. A lot of you guys are going to start saying, you know, well, man, they're not made in Finland no more, and they're not made, they either worth the same thing they always worth. Well, apparently you don't design and build bait yourself. I do. As long as it's balsa and you're using the same weight and wire configuration and the same lip, it's a balsa bait, man. And they're also finished the same way. So the way I look at it is, yeah, I like the old Finland stuff just like you guys do, and then Ireland came in later on. You know, yeah, there's a pride thing when it comes to shad wraps. Well, only use the Finland stuff, you know, and I've got those. I've got the Irelands and I've got the new ones. And I'll be honest with you, as a bait builder, I don't really see a difference. So let's put that to rest. Other baits are still available. The DD22. It's still available now. Pratco owns them now. They own Bill Norman now. But I like what Pratco does. They let the lure companies stick to their original type thing. So they're still made of the same plastic, all that stuff. Just the price has gone up. But yeah, a rattle trap. It's a shame they're made in China now. And they do have the slightest higher pitch and rattle than the American ones. You probably won't notice the difference until you put one in one hand and one in the other hand. The American model is just a little bit duller and a little bit deeper. But if you held the Chinese in your hand, shook it, you would know the difference. Okay, it's that subtle. Do I think bass care? They don't read catalogs. They're not online. So, anyway. Yeah, crankbaits overrated. If somebody says crankbaits are overrated, it's because they're referring to probably the stuff that's out now. Which personally, it's a bunch of rehashed crap. Now there are baits out there that are genuine as far as new stuff, you know, Mega Bass and Duo Realis and stuff like that. I know they have their perks and everything, but guys, those baits are going to be gone in a couple of years too. They're not going to survive. Why? They're trendy. Are they good baits? Probably so. I've got my share of Duo Realises. I've got I got a few Duo. I don't fish them, but I've got them. And I guarantee the ones I have aren't even made anymore. I haven't even looked them up. Lucky Craft ain't the same Lucky Craft it used to be. That's been changed. But so yeah, I'm you know, when I think of Lucky Craft, I think of 15, 20 years ago. Longer than that, probably. That was some good stuff back in the day, Lucky Crafts. Back in the day. Back in I was fishing tournaments and stuff. But crankbaits are not obsolete. But I think what you need to keep in mind is what is still around. What still sells. That's what you want to get your hands on. Whether it's popular or not, whether it's cool or in vogue or not, who cares? It works. Go on lurenet.com and find out what's still available. It'll blow your mind. You know, the Big O's are still around. They're even doing them in custom colors right now. The Super Spot. I wish they would bring out the CC Shad again. The CC Shad was a bad little crankbait. That was their rattling version of a shad wrap, basically. But it caught a lot of fish. I had my little stash of them. I just couldn't believe these few channels I saw that were just slamming crankbaits. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. You can't be that dumb. You can't be that dumb. But now, if they're saying that because of the new stuff being released, I'll give them credit. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with them on that. But stuff that's been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, there's a reason. Imagine that. And rattle trap, even though they got bought out a few years back and they're made in China now, this, that, and the other, they're still selling the crap out of them. So apparently they're still catching fish. Just think about it. I mean, don't sit there and take somebody's word that they're overrated, so you're not going to carry crankbaits anymore. That's just dumb. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. But that's all I have, guys. That's all my little rant for crankbaits today. So until next time, remember, new techniques are trendy, but the past never change. May the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name. As always, fish on.